How are we doing today? Paul here. I am on the shore of Windermere. This is Waterhead near Ambleside. It's January 2022. Don't know if you can see me because I'm backlit. Hang on just a second. There we go. It's January 2022. The sun is bright and low in the sky. Excuse me for squinting. I thought I'd pop along here to Ambleside and see what it's like in January. See if it's busy, see if it's quiet, see what's open, see what's closed. Now I was here a couple of years ago and I did a tour, and that was more of like a summertime kind of thing, and it was quite busy, if you remember. It certainly wasn't as quiet as this. Look at this car park. The Lakes cruises are still running there. They run all year round. I think they run every day apart from Christmas Day. The Lakes cruises, you can cruise up and down Windermere all year long. Now there are a couple of ways you can get into Ambleside. You can either walk kind of that way, past the go up to the top of the road, turn left, walk up that way, or you can walk up this way, which is the way that I'm going to go. Because it's going to take me past something quite interesting, which I'm going to point out on the way. So off we go, up into Ambleside. A couple of hotels down here by the waterside. Got the Regent Hotel there. They're doing some tree work, which is noise you can hear if you can hear chainsaws. And you got the Water Edge Inn just there, right by the lake. You're going to have to excuse the lighting on this film if it's not brilliant, because the sun is in a really awkward position for filming. It's right down low and it's bouncing off the lake. But anyway, this is a nice walk up into Ambleside. I'm timing the walk and I'm measuring the distance as well, so I'll tell you when we get into the town centre exactly how long it's taken me and how far it is. But it's a decent town centre, is Ambleside, for walking about, because everything's in a big circle. So it doesn't matter where you start, you can sort of just do a big loop. And there's lots of little side streets, so you can do like little mini loops as well. It's hard to get lost in Ambleside. Just keep turning right or turning left and you'll get back where you started. Now the thing I wanted to show you on the way up is just over here. So what we'll do is we'll take a little detour over the road and have a look. This is Borrens Park down by the lake. You can sort of wander around here, nice picnic areas in summer. But this is where we're going. Roman Fort over here. Helicopter. Now I've not got the best shoes on for this. I haven't come prepared. I came in the wrong car. My walking shoes are in the other car, so I can't. I'm not going to go much further than this wall, to be honest with you. I might be okay. Just a sec. Yeah, it's not too bad. But this, okay. This is what we're here to see: Ambleside Roman Fort. Now, this is part of a chain of forts that stretches across Cumbria. There's this one. There is the one on Hard Knot Pass, which I filmed, so I'll stick a link up in the top corner for that one. And then there's the other fort down at Ravenglass. Now Ravenglass doesn't have anything left of the fort. It does have the bathhouse, or remains of the bathhouse, left, but nothing of the fort remains. But here at Ambleside there is some remains of the fort. The gate, the main gate, there we go. All that's left of the main gate. Some foundations, some more bits of rock over here. And here's the foundations of the main part of the fort. As always with these things, there's not a lot left to see because we are talking a couple of thousand years ago. It's surprising that there's this much left, really, isn't there? But one thing you can say about the Romans, they did know how to have a room with a view, didn't they? It's quite spectacular. Same at Hardknott. Got quite a view from there as well. Ravenglass is good as well. Views right across the Solway. Yeah, they could pick their spots, could the Romans. I've sent the drone up a few minutes ago just to get some pictures from above, just to give you an overview of where the fort sits, and I'll be playing them now while I'm talking. But that's it for the fort. Let's get back to the road and head off up into Ambleside. Not far away now, there's the rugby club there, just on the left, and this road here will take you off to Coniston, Hawkshead and Langdale. Coniston and Hawkshead, I've got some videos on them, I'll put the links in the description if you want to have a look around Coniston and Hawkshead. We are heading off in this way, up into Ambleside. We've been going 0.3 of a mile so far, and it's taken 6 minutes. So, not much further. Almost there now. This is the way I've came up from the lake from down that way. This road here, this is a one-way road, comes down from there. But I'll point out the other side of this road when we get there. This is one of the big loops you can do around Ambleside. You can come down that way, you can go up this way. I'll point out that road when we get up there on the other side of the loop. But here we are, almost into Ambleside town centre. Gates shut when the ticket office is closed, no through rope when the gates are locked. And the gates are locked. I suppose that's one of the things of coming in the middle of winter. There are some things that are closed, just past a few cafes that are closed and all locked up. That's a shame. It's a nice little park area there. You can't get in. Anyway, never mind. I was going to take a shortcut through there. I just have to go the long way around. There's the mini golf and children's play area. Again, another little junction here. It doesn't really matter which way you go, you can just go around in loops. Up that way, round, round, up that way, down, up. They all just go around in a big circle. I'm going this way though. And I'm going to stop the clock when I get right into the town centre, up by Bridge House way, somewhere like that. See how far it is from the lakefront. Zeffirelli's Cinema down there. Now here's the ticket hut. Does it give any opening times? Does it say when it's open and closed? Let's have a look. Closed. Now it does say on the sign over here that they're looking for somebody to run the cafe and the management of the park from the 1st of April to the 31st of October. So I'm taking a guess that that's the opening times, 1st of April to 31st of October. I may be wrong. If you know differently, please comment below. But for now, no bowling, pitch and putt, crazy golf, or ice creams from that shop. Closed till the 1st of April. Here's a wild swimming shop. I remember when wild swimming was just called swimming. I used to swim in the lakes and rivers when I was younger, just to call it swimming. It's now wild swimming. Makes it sound more adventurous, I suppose. Anyway, coffee bar. A few restaurants up here. Thai restaurant over there. Wabi Sabi. Wine store. It's closed. Toy shop's closed. I appear to have come on a day where everything is closed. Some route finding. That's the direction I've came from the lake. Heading off up into the centre, which is kind of up here, just at these crossroads. Zeffirelli's cinema, again over the road, another screen. And this is where we start to get into the proper Lake District of outdoor shops. All the outdoor shops are up here. Ambleside sheepskins, Tog 24. Oh, that coffee shop smells nice. Here's Blacks, Gainers. And here we are in what I would call the centre. So let me have a look and see how far this is and how long it's taken. That was 0.8 of a mile and just under 20 minutes. I did pause it while I went into the fort and I'd look around the fort, so that's fairly accurate. I walk quite quickly, so that's about a 20-minute walk, say. Just under a mile. Mind I don't knock them people into the street. So, where am I now? River. And just over the road, probably one of the most photographed buildings in the whole Lake District. That's Bridge House. It's a National Trust property now and it's closed for winter. But in the summer, COVID restrictions allowing, it is actually open and you can go in there. And last time I was here, I actually did go in there and have a little look about. So I'll stick a link to that Ambleside video in the description down below if you want to have a little look inside Bridge House. It was actually a bridge first. The house came later, so the bridge is the oldest part of this, and it wasn't always a house. If you look on this side, you can sort of see, oh no, you can't really make it out, that there is a doorway bricked up there, because before it came a house it was a storage space for apples. The upstairs was where apples were stored and the bridge was still a bridge. You could walk right through this bottom part and apples were stored upstairs, because all this was orchards. Sounds like something off Back to the Future, but this was all orchards. This was the crossing over the river and the apples used to be stored upstairs. It was converted into a house much later and people did actually live in there. It's only 2 rooms, 1 up, 1 down, but I think a family of 5 was it lived in there? I can't remember. As I said before, it's owned now by the National Trust, and in summer it is up to the public and you can go in and have a look around. Let's get back up now and continue on our loop around the town. I'm going to cross the road quickly. Down that way there is where I came. That's which way I came up from the lake, and I'm heading up this way now. I'm going to go around in that direction back down to where I started. A few things to see on the way. Lots of outdoor clothes, climbers shop, Fat Face, not quite outdoor shop, but Rohan Trespass. If you've ever been here in summer, you're maybe not used to seeing it this quiet, because usually, I'll try and not get knocked down here. Just a second. Yeah, where was I? Usually it's a lot busier than this, and I mean a lot busier than this. Best time of the year to come is January, February, if you ask me. You're not guaranteed the weather, but you're not guaranteed the weather any time of year. And sometimes here in winter it can be absolutely stunning, especially when we get some snow on the mountains. So if you want to visit a nice quiet time, January, February, that's my top tip. You know something else we have here in the lakes, as well as a lot of outdoor shops. We have some fantastic galleries. There's one here. This is the old Courthouse Gallery in Ambleside. Some good galleries in Keswick as well. Keep going down this way, past the White Lion. Tell you what else is in Keswick and also here in Ambleside. Old Friars chocolate shop. If I wasn't on a diet, I would be in there. But unfortunately, I've put on far too much weight in the last 12 months. So I'm going to have to quickly run past. One of the little roads you can cut down to do a nice little loop. And luckily for me, the food shop is closed. So no temptation there. Signed memorabilia shop there. It's closed. Don't know if you can hear the noise in the background. That's the boys and girls of the Royal Air Force making a bit of noise as they fly over in their jets. More outdoor shops here. Another little loop back round to the town centre. Climbing Wall Shop Cafe, Adventure Peaks, live the dream. Worldwide expeditions and courses, Adventure Peak shop there. I've just popped over the road to have a look in this car park to see how busy it was, and I think yeah, there's some spaces down the bottom there. So here, right even in the town centre, there is still parking available at, what is it, about midday now? It's about midday. That would never happen in the middle of summer. Absolutely no chance at all would you be able to find a parking place in Ambleside in the middle of the day in summer. So that's the direction I've just came down that way. And this road here off to the left, can you remember, sort of not at the start of this video, but just as I was entering the town there was a road and I said I'll point out later the other side of that road. That is it. So that is, you can go back down there, back to where I was before, and continue in another loop around Ambleside if you want. But I'm going to head off down this way, back towards the lake. Just coming up on the right here is the Log House Restaurant and Bar, which, looking by the front of it, seems to be going through some kind of refurbishment. I would hope, because there's a lot of stuff there. A skip, wood, pipes. So yeah, bit of refurbishment going on in there by the looks of things. That place has been here for years though. Like, it's like a Swiss chalet. I'm sure. I'm sure that log cabin place spent some time as a private house in the past, and I think it was a gift shop at some point. Now it's labelled up as a restaurant and bar. Whether or not there's one coming right over me here. Look at this. It's upside down! It was upside down. Awesome, awesome. And another, here's another, here's another. And another. Wow. Apologies for the shoddy camera work there. I'm pretty sure that I didn't film that as good as it looked when they were going over the top of me. But wow, amazing. I've completely lost my train of thought. Anyway, doesn't matter, because we're here at Hayes Garden World at Ambleside. A really big garden centre and visitor attraction, excuse me, here in Ambleside. Open all year round. Usually packed, absolutely jam-packed. But again, nice and quiet this time of year. That's the way back up into Ambleside. But barring any more interruptions from the RAF, won't be long, I'll be back down by the lake. (12:15) on a Wednesday, and that is Waterhead car park. That is the way that I've came down from the town. If I look across the car park, I can see I went up that way into Ambleside. I'm going to keep walking a bit till I get to the jetty where the boats are. But I've worked out it's been about 2.5 miles, maybe a bit further for the full loop. 2.5, 3 miles tops, I would say. Which isn't too bad really, is it? It's a fairly decent walk too, pretty flat, good pavements. So if you've arrived in Ambleside by boat, maybe you stay at Windermere or down the bottom end of the lake, and you've came for the day to have a wander around Ambleside, then not far at all to get from the jetty into the town centre. What was it, just under a mile? 20 minutes? Not bad at all. And here we are, back where we started. I was going to sit down on that bench then, but yeah, it's clean. I'll sit down. The sun is bouncing right off the lake, right into my eyes, so apologies for squinting again. That was our little walk around Ambleside here in January 2022. A lovely time of year to visit, very quiet. Lots of parking spaces, not many people about. I mean, just look around here. At the side of the lake, there's just nobody here. There are a few things that are closed, mainly cafes. A few of the shops were shut today, but when I looked at the signs in the windows, it said closed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and today's Wednesday, which is probably why they're closed. So I wouldn't let that put you off if you wanted to come and visit this time of year. Nice little air show from the RAF. We had a little look at the Roman fort, and a little look around the town centre, and that's quite a bit warm in that sun. Anyway, that'll do for now. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more videos in and around Cumbria and the lakes. For now though, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Just basking in the sun. Basking in the sun. Almost think we're on holiday. If it wasn't for the hat and the gloves and the thick coat.